This is on the rules to rebuke. So this is for people that, you know, you're in covenant and you've let the commandments, like the first part of the covenants of promise, which is the first elevated commandment to love God, which is to keep the commandments, and the second is to love your neighbour as yourself, which relates to rebuking their sin, which is Leviticus 19:15-18. So there are different rules to rebuke because it depends on who you are, who you're rebuking, and so we'll start with where is it? So first of all, it's a common theme for Christians to rebuke, like, unbelievers, heathens, atheists, whatever you want to call them. So you can't rebuke someone for transgressing the law if they don't claim to love God, and therefore they should be keeping that law. They're of the world, they're not of God, so you don't have a right to rebuke them. I'm just going to give a few scriptures for each of these points, but there'll be more links, and I don't have everything here, but just to get an idea. So in 1 Corinthians 5, verse 12-13, for what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do you not judge them that are within? Alright, so first of all, you can only judge people that are claiming to be believers, Christians, whatever, just believing in God and the Bible. You can't rebuke someone who's an atheist for being gay or something. You can't do that. So second, if you are a woman, you are not allowed to directly confront a man. You can only do this in question form, because you can't usurp the authority of a man, and you can't teach a man. That's 1 Timothy 2 verse 12. Well, 9-12 I think it is. And so, if someone is claiming to be of God or is in covenant and they have sinned, you can't just go, oh, you did this, you sinned. You would have to question them. And actually, I should have said before that, there's a difference between when someone sins directly against you, like a private transgression, versus a public public rebuke, which would be for something that's just straight out transgressing the law and transgressing God in the process. So let's say your friend steals your favorite t-shirt. You would talk to them privately. Ideally they repent, you forgive them, move on. Forgive them anyway, 70 times 7. And if they repent and stay on track, then that's good for you and them. But if they're straight out transgressing the law, like, because that is sorry, I'll just keep on track. I'll try not to go on tangents, and I want to be clear and straightforward. So a believer is, they're going to church on a Sunday, when the Bible is clear that we need to honor the seventh day, the Sabbath day. And just know I'm not of any denomination. I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I'm not anything. All I am is someone that wants to follow and live by the Bible, which is God's instruction for how to live. I'm not... If you want to label me, you can label me as straight as the gate person, but I don't have a denomination, because we're not supposed to be divided. We're supposed to be as one man, united in the Word. Anyway, that's another tangent, but yeah, so if someone's like doing, even like Christmas, Easter, you would publicly rebuke them so that others can learn from that and not follow in the same way. I've missed a verse, but I'm going to add it to this document, and all the verses and the themes that I'm talking about will be in this document. I will put it in the description so you can read over it. And I'm just reading off it now, so if I'm like looking and pausing and stuff, it's just because I'm reading off a document. So I'll just read the one about the private rebuke. I've forgotten to put in the public one somehow. I might even quickly try and look it up, but moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. That's Matthew 18 verse 15. So yeah, pretty much what I said, but that's the verse. Sorry if it's loud. I don't know which order I should do this in. So, there's a bit of a hierarchy within the church. So there are elders in the church. There are people with more wisdom, more talents. Generally, they've been studying the Bible and doing the work longer. And anyway, so we all know what an elder is. I don't need to explain that. Against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses, them that sin rebuke before all, that others may also fear. Well, that does tie into the public rebuke. That was probably the one I was going to add. Anyway, I charge thee before God and Yeshua Messiah and the elect angels, that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing by partiality. That's 1 Timothy 5 verse 19 to 21. So that's telling you that if an elder sins, because it still happens, those that say they don't sin are liars. I'll add that verse, but I can't remember what it is. You hear people say, well, I'm saved now and I don't sin because, like, what? The love of God makes me not sin, or I don't know. People say all sorts of weird things, but the point is you don't willfully sin, that you turn from your sin, you repent and be converted, so you turn away from that. Not to say you won't slip up, but repeated sin is a big problem that leads to death. So yeah. Anyway. I read that one. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them that labour among you and are above you in the Lord, and admonish you. That's 1 Thessalonians 5:12. That's just kind of explaining the elders. Another one about the witnesses is Deuteronomy 19 verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin. And any sin that he sins, at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. So, there's all different ways this can go about, but if it's someone in covenant, or yeah, either way, if someone is transgressing the Ten Commandments in a public setting, so like doing Christmas, something like that, you're gonna get another person to help you explain that, back you up. And sometimes someone will hear someone else better than you. Like that's pretty common in most things. I should have mentioned this at the start. I've got them all out of order. I'm sorry, I hope this isn't confusing. But, this ties into, people will quote, don't judge me, like, whatever, judge not lest you be judged. And that ties into Matthew 7 verse 5. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. So that's talking about the log and the speck, or the beam and the mote. So basically it's saying you cannot go and rebuke someone else, for example, I don't know, doing Christmas. You've just started learning the commandments and maybe you haven't figured this out yet, but you rebuke another believer. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense, but anyway, you rebuke another believer for transgressing one of the commandments when you are still breaking a commandment yourself. And they're all equal, so if you break one, you break them all. So maybe you're doing Sunday Sabbath thinking that's right without studying and understanding the Ten Commandments properly, and then you're rebuking another believer for celebrating Christmas, but you're still doing Sunday Sabbath. Or just so you don't think I'm a Seventh-day Adventist or something, because I keep talking about Sabbath. Another believer is lying, but you're coveting after their husband. Same thing. Like, you have to get rid of your iniquities before you point out the sin in another person. You have to get rid of your sin before you point out the sin in someone else. Don't be a hypocrite. And the beam or the log is also a literal metaphor. In Jeremiah 10, it's talking about the Christmas tree. It is. And if you can't see that, then you're blind, deaf, and dumb like your idols. That's what happens. But, you get rid of Christmas, then you can tell others to get rid of Christmas. That's just a cool little thing. Take the Christmas tree out of your eye. I like that one. I'm sorry it hasn't been the most clear and it's been kind of out of order, but I hope you can understand. There's probably a lot more to this. There will be a lot more to this. But I'm just trying to do like a straightforward video for you to understand. Yeah.